Hi, it's JP Smith, and welcome to our penultimate edition of Boxing Saves Lives. Now, this evening, I'll be having a conversation with Frankie Storey. Frankie is an amateur boxer. He's fighting out of, well, we're going to find out actually, because he's had a few changes recently. So he's formerly a Finchley boxer, and we're going to have a chat with him about his life in boxing. And there's a couple of things happening here, so we're going to be talking about how he got into boxing, growing up from being a really angry kid to, how boxing's gotten him through the last year or so, with a bereavement of somebody very, very close to him. So let's have a chat with Frankie, and let's just see how boxing saved his life. Here we go.
What's the story?
Hey, Frankie, how are you, man? You okay?
Good, you?
Yeah, great, man. Great.
My hair looking good?
Your hair's looking good. You look a bit sideways. Spin your phone away. There you go. You got her. How you been? How you been?
Been good?
Yeah, good. We spoke about 4 or 5 months ago, about 5 months ago, really.
Yeah.
Just before Boxing Saves Lives started, and the one person I wanted to get on there, I haven't even gotten around to getting on there as well. So that's you, man. So you're part of how we got this going.
I'm here now.
You're here now.
I haven't had data for the past few weeks. So I'm on the Wi-Fi now, luckily.
Oh, I tell you honestly, the first time in a few months that I've put my phone down, I've just been away on holiday for about 10 days, and I went away to Dorset, and I swear to God, honestly, it's scary how much I rely on my phone. So being without Wi-Fi or data is just absolutely hell for me.
Is it, yeah.
I just think it's how much I rely on them.
That's it, yeah.
So, Frankie, when all this started, and I started Boxing Saves Lives, and we had literally just spoken a few days before, which is strange.
Yeah.
But, I asked you, and you sent me a video and, an introduction, a little demo video of what how boxing changed your life.
Yeah.
And, now it's all come to fruition. We're starting doing the videos. So let's have a chat and go through with people exactly how boxing has changed your life. So let's start right from the very start, mate.
Go on then, yeah. Sweet.
So tell me how you got into boxing, mate.
Well, I'm from a boxing family. So my daddy had, I think he had like 114 or 40 amateur fights. He lost 12. Boxed for England numerous times, and just done a great deal in the amateurs. Won six national titles, and was on the young England team for a long time. And just one day, I said to him, we went fishing, and I said to him, like, Dad, what's it like being a boxer? And he turned around to me and said, son, you'd never have the bottle to do it. And there we go. Like, he just hoodwinked me straight into it. I couldn't let him go. So I was in the gym then the week after that on the Monday up at Farley Hill, and my trainer then was Noel McIver.
Yeah.
And there was loads of good lads in there like previously before me, like Digger Williamson, Kinsey Williamson, Ricky Benhassett, so many other boys. All doing good things at Farley, and they produce loads of national champions. So it's good to be in a place like that. Do you know what I mean?
So
Chunky was through there as well.
Michael Devine, yes, mate, yeah. And so a lot of pedigree coming through that gym back in the day.
That's it.
And so how did you get to the point? So when your dad took you there, what was it like settling into the gym, Frankie, for the first time? How did it take you long to realise that there was somewhere you wanted to still keep going back to, or were you a bit cautious about, whether you liked it?
When you walk into a boxing gym for the first time, you sort of look around and you do think, is this for me?
Yeah.
Because even just the smell, you just think there's something particular about it that it's not normal. If you go on a football pitch, you're just, everyone goes on the grass, don't they? And you're smelling the fresh air. When you walk into a boxing gym, everyone's looking at you. Everyone's sort of like, everyone's been a tough guy, and it smells of a boxing gym in there. So I thought, is this for me? I thought I was a tough little angry kid then, do you know?
Yeah.
And I wasn't, do you know? So I went there for about a week, and I sort of realised I ain't the toughest kid at my age. There was loads of
Yeah.
other boys there that I was getting chucked in sparring with, and I soon sort of fell on my feet and realised there's a lot more to it than just throwing your hands.
And tell us a little bit about the angry kid bit, because you mentioned that to me before as well. That you know you had a lot of rage inside you as a young kid. Talk us through a little bit of that.
I don't know what it was, mate. I just had a mad rage in me. Just
Mm.
since a young kid, just can't really explain what it was. Just always wanted to be up to mischief.
Mm.
You know, that was at a young age. And then it was literally only until I started the boxing, which was until, when was I? So I had my first fight when I was 11. I was in the gym when I was 10. So yeah, up until that age, I was up to no good. And then bam, after that, I just sort of learned how to discipline myself, started to listen more, and just take things on board more rather than just think, oh, I know everything and I'm the top guy. But yeah, really, I wasn't. And I soon realised that when I got chucked in the ring for sparring.
Do you think there was a little bit of your dad telling you that you couldn't handle it and knowing rightly that you wouldn't say no to the challenge and get stuck straight into the gym? Do you think he kind of saw that
Absolutely.
coming? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, mate. Yeah. And he said it to me as well a few months after I was in the gym. Like, he sort of just said, you know, you're doing really well. Even in the schoolwork, like school for me even picked up after that as well. Like, I was always messing around in school.
Yeah.
But there was times where I thought, you know, I've got to knuckle down and do the same as what I was doing in the boxing, just try and focus and keep on the straight path.
And that's a good point, because I always talk about people about that, is that some of the discipline and, you know, that you learn and the respect you learn from speaking to older people in the boxing gym,
Yeah.
or just people who know more than you, it does carry straight out the door of the boxing gym for people. You know, it's just like, even discipline boxing can just be turning up on time, you know, making sure you're there every Tuesday or Thursday, whatever it is. That kind of discipline that some people just don't have in their lives, one way or the other. They're too young to have it, or just not ready for it, or just not built that way. And you've given a good example of how, you know, it's taken you it's not going to turn you into a perfect student, but if it makes you work with teachers a bit easier, making you turn up for school, not playing through it as the posh way, or scheming as we used to call it in Ireland.
Yeah, of course.
It's going to be a good thing, isn't it?
Of course, mate, yeah. And I noticed it straight away. Like, there was times where I'd be like, oh, I want to bank off on a lesson or whatever. And then you do soon realise, because you're in the gym, what, you can't just say to your trainer, oh, I'm coming in on Monday and Friday. It doesn't work like that. You know, you got to have structure. And as long as you stay in your routine in the gym, you'll stay in the routine in your life as well. So, you know, even now, like, I'm going through a bit of a struggle now, but because I'm still in the gym, it's just keeping me sane. Like, you know, and especially my trainer now, he's teaching me new things. And I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying every single part of it, like learning my trade every single week in, week out. But because of the COVID, it's just slowing everything down.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I think about, really. I just want to make it to the top.
Yeah, I love that. And you know, from when you started in the gym, and then you know, as you said, it started changing your life almost straight away, Frankie.
Yeah.
What was it like when you actually moved from just, you know, sparring with guys inside it's the safety of your own gym, or maybe going to the other gym for little sessions, to actually getting into the boxing ring for the first time as an amateur against a complete stranger?
Yeah. See, well, you want to know what it's like getting in there?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, I remember my first fight was in Slough in a Holiday Inn, and I was 11, and I just remember even the whole week of the fight, I was literally shaking. I remember being in school just thinking, I couldn't even think about work. Like, I couldn't even think of what on my schoolwork. All I was thinking about was this fight, and it was just building and building and building. I remember getting to the venue, like I felt like I could have cried. Like, I didn't even know what to expect, because you've sparred and you've done all the preparation, but you've never actually boxed in front of a whole crowd before.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, my dad showed me like to the ring. Like, there was no people there in like the sort of hall, and he just said, like, you know, this is the start of it all for you. Like, you're only 11, but you could be doing this in 20 years' time. in MGM Grand. Do you know what I mean? He goes, this is just the beginning for you, like. And I took it all on board, and I went in there, just obviously boxed. I think it was only 1.5 minute rounds, and that's literally nothing, you know.
Yeah.
And I won my first fight. I won my first 6 fights. I remember that my first fight, my dad was in even my mum was in bits, like crying, because they never thought I'd ever do anything like that. I was always a football sort of lads, you know what I mean? Just always playing football on the weekends.
Yeah.
They never thought even my mum never seen me even box, so she was in bits as well. So and that was it. That was the start of it. 11 years of age, just never looked back after that. Never looked back. Then after that, after 6 fights, as a schoolboy, I made it to the semi-finals of the ABAs in the schools. And then I lost in that against a boy from Repton. And then bam, come on a comeback, and still never looked back.
Yeah.
You know? It's mad.
And there's no shame in losing to somebody from Repton, because that was obviously one of the biggest, most prestigious boxing clubs in the UK, isn't it? Really, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Especially their schoolboys. They must have a boy in every weight every year.
Oh, right, yeah.
You know,
because honestly, you hear some people talking about being to a tournament, or no matter where it is, they always mention Repton Boxing Club, you know. So quite prestigious in that. So over the years, Frank, you know, you moved on. You were doing your amateur boxing, and you know, you moved between clubs, and then eventually you started going to Finchley. So you started boxing out in North London. Talk me through how that came about and what's going on there.
So I was at the academy, so Luton Academy, and a couple of the lads down there, we was all just sort of a lot of people just drifted apart, really, like from the gym, and I wasn't really getting enough sparring. And at the time, I was like, 17, 18. Literally just passed my driving test, and I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I was getting a bit bored of boxing as well. Like, I wasn't getting out as often. You know, I was out doing stupid shit. And then I thought to myself, you know what? Yeah, let's give it one more bang. Had my driving lessons, passed my test, and then just thought, you know what? Let's start a new little adventure. Let's start going down to Finchley. And straight away, I was just welcomed with warm hands down there by Sean and all the other coaches. And then I was just in there, like grafting every week after work. And I loved every single minute of it down there.
So when you talk about your situation, Frankie, and you get to the point where you didn't know where you're going, you were kind of caught in around that time where, for people watching home, is that you had a split in amateur boxing, where you had England boxing and you had the Alliance boxing. And then all over a load of nonsense. So clubs ended up being split in different directions.
That's it.
You know, depending on which way you wanted to go, depending on what type of club you would go to. And sometimes
you
would swap from one to the other.
You
know, England boxing was always going to be the better one. Alliance boxing was kind of like the poor cousin of it. Let's say that's trying not to be disrespectful, but a lot of people from England boxing would end up going to Team GB and stuff like that. So you had maybe a higher caliber of boxing club that would be involved in it, and that's not trying to be disrespectful. That's what it was like. So you had a lot of people who were trying to move between clubs, and some clubs were on the brink. So you're trying to get to a club with the best possible people there to try and get the best possible moves for yourself.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I went there personally. I went there because I just wanted to develop in myself, and I wanted to develop. Finchley, Repton, West Ham, all the top London clubs have always produced good fighters, and I've always liked their style in the amateurs. But I used to go down there to spar anyways. So even some of the lads that I sparred down there, I thought, you know what, these are top kids. Move to a gym like this, I'm just going to skyrocket. And I did. Each week, I just felt like I was getting better and better, even just in my movement and my combinations was always just coming off. Because I'm a pressure fighter as a southpaw. Sean Murphy was my main trainer then. He just said to me, like, you've got it now, like, just keep going, and you know, you're great. You don't just fight. You can box as well.
Yeah.
So he kept saying you're great for a southpaw to be a box fighter, and that was it.
Sorry, man. So, Frankie, when you made that change and you went down
Yeah,
there, and you'd only just
yeah,
passed your driving test, so you're about 18 odd. You know, what else were you doing? Were you on the bricks at that time? Were you doing what else were you doing? Because,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I try to explain to some people who don't understand is that most people who are involved in boxing, especially amateur, but sometimes pro, quite often pro,
Yeah.
is that you're working a full time job as well. So, what were you doing?
Yeah. So when I left school, I was doing dry lining, didn't like that. Went to college, done public services, and then I managed to get an apprenticeship at a bricklaying company, and yeah, like even still now, still I'm on the trail now, still developing as an improver. But yeah, working 5-6 days a week for BBK Brickwork, and luckily they sponsor me.
Yeah.
They give me, they've given me a nice little deal that that benefits me when I need the time off, and I'm more than thankful for it all. To be fair, but yeah, that's what I do. I just keep my head down with the boxing, and I keep my head down with the bricklaying. Up at 6:30, and then home at 9 for after training. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that was going to be my question. How
and then,
does it feel going between them, mate, when you're just finishing a day, especially if you've had a bad day on the bricks, maybe the weather's been lashing down, or
yeah,
worse?
yeah,
What's it like trying to
yeah.
build yourself up to go into the gym, or is it just become quite a habit now that you kind of look forward to it?
I'm only human. Like everyone has days where they're like, oh, can't be asked. Getting a nice warm
Yeah,
bed, a nice warm bath. We'll just go and see your pals. But I always just remind myself, I haven't been doing this for 10 years. Like I started when I was 11. Yeah, I had my first fight when I was 11. I'm 21 now. I haven't been doing this for that long for me to turn around now and go, do you know what? Yeah, I don't want to do this no more. Or, you know, it'd just be such a waste. Even for myself, I just think there's no turning back for me now. I just want to make it all the way to the top. And even
mm.
on them days that I feel like I don't want to go to the gym, I always remind myself that there's good things coming. I haven't been doing, and I haven't been putting all this hard work in all over these years for nothing. Like even on with the bricklaying, like it's all going to pay off at one point.
And I love the way you've just kind of compared the two in, because I often say to people is that, when you talk to people in boxing gyms, is that with boxing you kind of learn to understand your weaknesses, and play
Yeah,
to your strengths, and you know finding things out the hard way in boxing, and listen to other people and that, and understanding disappointment can be a good thing for life, because if you're going and getting involved in things, you go on interviews, you're not getting jobs, you're trying to get
yeah,
on in your job and it's not working, you're trying something new. Boxing can be a good way to actually build you towards how life goes for you. You got to live a life on
absolutely,
terms.
absolutely. You know, I'm quite lucky because I can't really see what I'd be like if I wasn't doing boxing. But I know for sure, just my personality, and I just sort of know that things for me wouldn't be how they are. Do you know what I mean? I always remind myself boxing's done too much for me, and it's like what I said in the last video. It's I haven't always been there for boxing, but boxing's always been there for me, and I'll always be thankful for that.
Yeah.
And that's something I could never sort of take away. Like it's a humbling thing that's always been there for me, and I haven't always given it 100%. But now I'm giving it 100%. They're both sort of teeing off each other. So it's like anyone who's watching the video, or any young lads or whatever, it's all about what you put in. Enjoy yourself, have a good time. Everyone's got to see their pals at some point, but at the end of the day, you've got to realise what you're good at, and you've got to realise what your craft is, and just push on it. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Just keep doing what you're doing, and keep your head down and just go for it.
Oh, brilliant! That's awesome advice, Frankie, for any person of any age watching it, and just that's a good good life lesson. Really, is just push on.
Yeah,
And you made a great point there about how boxing's always been there because when we spoke previously, Frankie, you told me, and it's weird that I've come back from my holiday now, because last year when I went away on holiday, I got really unwell, and I
yeah,
ended up in hospital for a while. And the first thing I'd done when I came out of hospital was, one of the first places actually when I left the house was actually had to go to Farley Hill for your mum's funeral, mate.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's kind of, these things have just kind of mixed in together now, and that's something that the sport of boxing has kind of helped you through, hasn't it? That a really tough time in your life last July.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, 100%, 100%. As soon as I was gone, and as soon as my mum sort of passed away, I was on a boxing camp anyways. I was in Spain on a boxing camp, so I just went obviously had to turn the machines off and do all the sort of the sadder stuff. But I made a promise, and that promise was it doesn't matter what happens. Anything, there's nothing worse than losing your mum. Honestly, like, I can't even explain it to anyone. Like you become you go from a boy to a man because you got to start doing things yourself. Like there's no one to pick up you washing off the floor, or it's hard with the boxing and around my mum's passing. I just made her a promise to just keep going, just keep going for her, and it's hard at 21 because the problem is that there's no sort of beating around the bush. Like there's none of this. She's gone to like another place, or you're fully aware that you're never going to see your mum again, and you know what's going on. There's no sort of like fiddling with it. So I just sort of made her a promise and said, look, doesn't matter what happens in my life, I'm gonna just keep on going and win at least win one title. But for me, I'm looking at least Europe in pros, and anything more is a bonus for me. Even turning over that's been a dream in itself. I haven't obviously turned over yet, but just turning over itself is a dream for me. So anything's a bonus, and I'm loving it. I'm loving every bit, mate.
So how is life now? Oh, I love that, Frankie. I love that, man. It's all for. And I mean, as I said, I only met your mum a couple of times, but lovely woman. You've got a great family around you, anyway. You know what I mean? Your dad, and your bro, and all that.
Great family. I love them all.
Huh?
I love them all, mate. We're all happy. We're always happy, and we always love to have a crack.
This is it. Mate. So how's life for you now? What's the story? What's happening with your boxing now? Because turning pro is something on the horizon. Tell me about what you're doing now, Frankie, as much as you can, are allowed to.
So at the moment I'm down with a trainer called Tony Peel. I've been now since just before the lockdown, and he was originally at Boxer London, and he's training quite a few boys now, but he knows his stuff. He studied the sport. Each week I'm just learning new things, and we just clicked from the off, really. Obviously, when you meet a new trainer first, you are a bit skeptical. You think, are we working? Are we clicking? Is the pad work good? What he's saying, can I trust? But I just put all faith in. I just realised, this he's a good guy. He's good for me, and he's showing me different things each week as a pro. The style of professional boxing is completely different to amateur boxing. Everything's a lot more slower. I feel like in the amateurs I was a very big hitter, and if I can transfer that into the professional game, I'll definitely be making waves in my division. I don't know. I'm not too sure what weight we've all decided, and I've got a nutritionist on board with us now. Paul O'Neill, him is, and he said to me, like, we'll do your good stuff. Like, you won't be eating no Maestro Peri Peri. You'll be good food. You won't be eating no Peri Peri gluten, and you'll be getting good food. So yeah, everything's coming into place for me, really. And I've got to thank Chunky Michael Devine. Like, he's been there for me as well recently. He's been just showing me the ropes as a professional.
Yeah.
And I've been meeting a lot of new fights. There's a new guy. Well, he's not new. He wants to try fight Conor Ben Storey. He's down there.
Do you mean the Albanian guy?
He's from Romania. Sorry, Albanian. Yeah.
Yeah, I know him. Yeah.
He's down there. He's one of our stable mates. And you know, I'm just around good people at the moment. I'm loving every single minute of it. I can't.
And how is Chunky doing? Because I haven't spoken to him for a little while. Michael Devine.
Yeah, Chunky's doing all right. Chunky's doing all right. He's trying to get boxing now. I think he's going to be getting some scans and stuff done. He's going to be getting the medical done. I think he's and he has actually been putting in the work and the effort. He runs, and the only thing I'd say, don't sleep on him. Don't think that he's not putting the work in, because he is 110% putting work in. And there's even been a few rumours about him having a hard fight soon.
You know what, and that's good.
Which will be a good one, you know?
Brilliant.
He's been there.
Sorry. I was going to say, I spoke to Kevin Murray, Chunky's manager, at the K Prosper fight, the one we hadn't done still. And he was chatting, oh, Chunky, you might be coming back. You might be doing the journeyman in the away corner. I was like, I was just thinking, I was letting him tell me all the chat, but I was sitting there going, you really think I think Michael Devine's going to come back and do a few little tiny fights and all? Michael Devine, nobody's going to sleep on Michael Devine. Do you know what I mean? I think if he thinks he's trying to give me the old backdoor shenanigans and go, K Prosper's nothing to worry about if he fights Michael. Like, there's no way Michael Devine fights anybody just like that. Michael Devine is there. He's going for titles, man. He's not there to muck around in an away cup.
Yeah.
Like Kevin was trying to pass me that day, telling me all that waffle.
Yeah. You know, it'll be such a good fight. Not just for boxing fans, but for, you know what I mean? I just think for the whole area, you know, to get behind both their fighters, not just, I'm Team Chunky, I'm Team Devine. I'm Team Prosper. It's good for the town to start having good nights out and having things to do, and especially two boxing lads of themselves. Like, it's such a good thing for everyone. But who do I have my money on? I can't say.
Yeah, it's a tough one at the moment, because I said to Kay, at the moment, Kay probably isn't interested in that fight because there's nothing in it for him. But Michael will definitely want that fight because there's everything in it, because Kay's got an English title. But if the roles were reversed, Michael wouldn't be interested. You know what I mean? It's kind of that kind of way. That's how boxing goes. You've got to be moving on.
Of course.
That fight is sitting there waiting to happen. Just maybe not yet. You know what I mean? Unless it can be made. But
maybe
it depends if there's money in it with all this stuff going on.
Of course. And that's the thing. Like, it's all respect to Kay. Like, he's got to push on, and he's got to and do it. He's an English champion. All respect to him. Like, he's been asking for absolute years. You know, I can't take anything away from Kay. Absolute legend of the town. You know, everyone knows him, and there's maximum love for him there. Same as with Chunky. Like, I look up to all these lads as a young lad from Luton, and it's been good for them on watching them all on the journey, as well as mine. So,
and it's good that you mentioned about people who are around supporting you, Frankie. Tell me a little bit about how important it is to have people kicking around you in the gym. You know, that trust that you spoke about with your coach. Why is that so important?
There's a lot of snakes, especially not just in that. Well, in boxing in general, there's so many snakes. You know, it's a snake's game. Like, you're either going to go up or you're going to tail it down. When there's financial, so when there's involved, people always want a bit of cake. Like, so you've got to have your wits about you, because people will take advantage if you don't know. I think I've got my wits about me. I wouldn't let anyone take advantage of me. Although in the past, I'm definitely just going to take things slow. When I do go into professional ranks and who's who. But for now, I do truly believe that who I'm with, they've got all my best interests at heart. And that's the main thing. Like, it's all about trust today, especially in professional sport, because you know, that hopefully one day that'll be bread and butter. So yeah,
I
loving it, mate.
I totally agree with that. And you know, it's something like that, finances and stuff like that, you need to get sorted out, because you don't want to be thinking like that when you're going into a boxing ring. You want your peace of mind, your mental health to be as good as it can be outside the ring, and you just don't want that extra stress, as I'd imagine. So you need, as well as your financial, your manager and all that, you also need like a good bunch of lads around you in the gym as well that are all lifting each other.
I agree.
So, Frankie, what have you got coming up in the next few weeks, pal?
I haven't got much coming up, to be honest with you. I'm just literally just ticking over, just training, doing what I can, to be honest with you. Obviously at work 5 days a week, just trying to build up financially. But also I'm enjoying seeing the people that I don't usually see. Like I never get to see any of my pals. And my life, especially even in the boxing, they're always the ones that are pushing me up the arse and saying, look, like, you're going to be there behind you. You just got to go and do it. And I was out with the boys from Friday. They all said the same thing. Like, they're all just great. I'm surrounded by top people. Some of them take for advantage, but I'm loving every single minute of it. I can't say that I'm not, because I am. It's so good.
I've seen some of your pictures on Instagram, Frankie, and you're having the kind of the best of both worlds at the moment. But when I look at those pictures, I'm thinking, you know what, you've got a good gang of people around you. You've got good people that you can trust. You've got people around and your friends. And I think you'll get some crowd down at your call if Tony Pale gets you a fight down there. That'll be some show.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping so. Life's too short to be. Can you hear me?
Try that again.
Oh, do you know what I mean? I hope I have a big crowd. That's what it's all about. I want every single person.
I was going to say, you've got a great family around you, so you've got God knows how many people who come out of your family, and then we can start on your mates, and then people through work. And you get over 100 people, I'd say, shifting them kind of tickets, Frankie.
I'm hoping so. Not to forget where I'm in Dublin. Jesus, the big blue army over there.
That would be lovely to go and see you in the national stadium or something. I went over to watch Chunky over there, and it was a bit of a mad weekend, shall we say? But that would be awesome to see you over there fighting in the national stadium, or even better, the O2. Right, listen, Frankie, and listen, I'll leave you to it, pal. We've lost a bit of signal there, but sure, listen, I'll catch up with you soon, and thanks a million for chatting to me tonight, mate. It's absolutely fantastic speaking to you. And you give your old man and all your family my regards, man. We'll speak soon, yeah?
All right. Take care.
Thanks very much, Frankie. See you later.